So you wrote a new article on your website today. It's kind of like planting a seed. You pick your piece of dirt, you open it up and you pop your article in it, and then you close it up and you wait for the amazing Google machine to start ranking it on Google. Well, the question in this video is, how long does it take for an article to rank? Well, Ricky and I own a network of websites, and I also reached out to some others who build their websites differently to get some good data for you in this video. And the results were really surprising. I learned some cool stuff from doing this. In fact, I spent over 12 hours pouring through the data. Here's what you need to know. If you're starting a brand new website today, I'm gonna say that the most common number that I saw from brand new websites was that it will take 35 weeks for the articles to reach the point that they are bringing in 90% of the traffic that they ever will. Now, they will probably maintain that ranking potentially for years to come, but that's a definite range. I saw some that started ranking at 90% of its traffic potential at 25 weeks, some that were much, much longer, and some that were even shorter than that. But I want to be clear about what we're actually talking about in this video. We are not talking about how long it takes to rank #1 on Google. I didn't even look at that data. What we're talking about is something far more practical than that. What I looked at is how long it takes before an article is at 90% of the traffic that will bring in. Let me tell you why that's a very different number. Because let's say I write an article, where is Zimbabwe? Somebody's doing homework and they're wondering where Zimbabwe is. Well, it may rank for where is Zimbabwe sooner than it also ranks for an adjacent search term, something like Zimbabwe geography. And so the traffic can keep stepping up on an article after you've already ranked #1 for the primary search phrase that you're targeting. So this video has nothing to do with how long it takes to get to #1. We're just looking at how long until it gets to 90% of the potential. So, a brand new website, about 35 weeks, some a lot shorter than that, some longer than that. For a moderately established website, maybe with something with 50 articles and is a year old, there we saw it shorten to more like the 25-week mark, from the 25 weeks from the time you write it until it gets to 90% of its traffic potential. And for a very well-established site, I would say it's more like 18 weeks. But all of this needs a huge grain of salt, because also on huge domain authority sites like improvephotography.com, that's many years old, has thousands of articles on it and a huge link profile, on that kind of website, I still saw some articles that I wrote 2 years ago that have just steadily climbed in the rankings for 2 years and never really hit that plateau. They've just continued to improve a little bit over time. I saw some articles on improvephotography.com that, man, 3 weeks later, bang, they were bringing in serious traffic, and others that just were dead for a long time, and then finally Google started to rank. There is a lot of variability in this, so don't at all think there's just some formula. But 2 questions that you're probably wondering right now. What does that graph actually look like? And what about links? What happens if I do link building on my website? Can I shorten this period down? All right, let's talk about both of those things. First, the shape of the graph. Again, there's a lot of variability. I would say, though, that a normal graph looks something like this. You first write it, and there's this tiny, tiny little hump. On an established site, it may be actually a spike because you just have people on the home page that are going to see it because it was the #1, the first article on the list of your new blog posts. But even on a new site, there's usually a tiny little bump because it's on the home page. And then it's dead, and there's nothing that's happening for many weeks. And then there are two benches that I saw this so often, that an article will hit bench number 1 and there starts to bring in a little bit of traffic. It feels like Google's just doing some user testing there and seeing where you should rank. And then it eventually goes to bench number 2, where it will probably plateau for many years to come if you've done a good job with the article. But when it hits bench 2, there's this tiny little peak where it goes a little bit higher and then drops down. Not every time, but I've got to say 95% of the time it's bench 1, bench 2, and then drops a tiny bit before the plateau. That makes me think that user testing is a significant piece of the Google search algorithm. It's like they're trying it in different queries, see if you should rank a little bit higher. Oh, that didn't work. We didn't see good results from the users. And then they bring you down to the plateau. But here's the question. Can we shorten the time by doing link building on your websites? So for this, I had to reach out to others who do a significant amount of link building, because obviously on me and Ricky's websites, we just don't do that. I was actually surprised to see the result here, because we teach no active link building, just build good content and put it out there. But if I had to say, in fact, we've said before on this YouTube channel, yeah, you're probably going to rank faster by having by doing some link building on those new articles. And actually, I wouldn't say that anymore. I would not say that link building is going to make your brand new website rank any more quickly. Now, can it rank higher? Yes, and there is data to actually support that. But will it rank faster? I could not find any proof that convinced me of that. After looking at dozens and dozens of articles, some with link building on the website, some without, I just wouldn't say that that is actually true. A brand new website just takes time before it reaches that 90% of the traffic potential for the article. Again, different than ranking number 1 on Google. But even more important, why are we concerned with the amount of time it even takes? I mean, if a farmer plants his field, as long as that field grows and he will get the harvest, does it really matter that much that it came 1 week sooner or 1 week later? Most of this whole thing is really just because we're impatient people. It's because we want to see the fruits of our labor, and that's totally normal. I get that. But what I saw so much is it just takes time. Through all the tricks, everything that I saw different websites trying, it will just take time. So be patient. Build your farm right, build great content, and then the harvest is awesome. So what about those big websites that ranked articles much, much more quickly? Yes, they're ranking more quickly, but does it actually bring in more traffic in the long term? I didn't find anything that says that. It just, you got there sooner to that number 1, to the 90% of the traffic potential. So when you're ready to build your website the right way, the consistent way, the way that after trying multiple different websites and trying and failing, what has worked consistently for us to build a website and feel very confident that we're going to get the reward of passive income at the end, check out Project 24. Ricky and I have essentially distilled everything we've learned over many years and a network of websites into 60 steps. And we say, if I'm starting a brand new website today, this is exactly what I would do step by step to get to success. Day 1, you're going to pick your niche. Day 2, you're going to get your hosting and pick your domain name. And we'll have a video for you showing how to choose a good domain name. Day number 3, we'll walk you through the process, writing the content, writing good content that'll work well for SEO, and eventually monetizing that website. Check it out, incomeschool.com/project24.